Anyway, this will be our Bible for this coming election. The Comelec Resolution number 10924, Perting Bagaa. But I'm urged to read at least those which are applicable to your office. No? Dili man sa kinahanglan ni Kutanan, pa may mga provision or registration niya which is for the consumption of Comelec personnel. So at least katulang na ang mga topics na aman po sa table of contents atong makita. Because this resolution applies not only for this coming election, but for the succeeding election. Next. So election bans, what are those? Prohibition against appointment of hiring new employees, creation of new position, promotion and giving of salary increases, remuneration and privilege. We also have ban on transfer and detail, suspension of elected local officials and filing. One by one we will discuss. Next please. Prohibition against appointment or hiring of new employees. When will it take effect? September 15 until October 29. No? Appointment or hiring of new employees with a permanent, provisional, temporary, substitute, or casual is prohibited. What are exempted? Job order, contract of service, renewal of contract of temporary, casual, substitute, and contractual personnel. And designation. Designation, dili siya bawal because it is only an addition of your existing duties. For barangay position, there will be a total ban, no? From October 20 to 29. Total because you cannot secure an exemption. However, the positions I have discussed before, you could secure an exemption from Comelec. And then creation or filling up of new position is also prohibited during the said period. Next. Transfer or detail of civil service employees. This is found in the what do you mean by transfer or detail? It is concerned in general terms any movement of personnel from one station to another, whether or not the same office or agency during the election is covered by the prohibition. When it is prohibited from August 28, it already took effect until November 29. So for the duration of the entire election period. Suspension of elected officials. Bawal. During the election period, the provision of the law. During the election period, the provisions of the law to the contrary notwithstanding, no public official shall, except upon prior written approval of the Commission, suspend any elected provincial city, municipality or barangay officer. So it is applicable in all offices. However, request for exemption may be filed with Comelec. And Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act cases, it will not apply. You could be suspended if there is a suspension on this particular case. Also, those suspension that has already taken effect. The commencement of the election period will not lift the suspension. You will still serve the suspension even if it is already an election period. Next, please. Filing of leave of absence of local treasurer. It is good that we have our regional election director because he will be the one to approve whenever you file a leave of absence for our dear treasurers. As you could read in the provision, you will not, the role of provincial, city, and municipal treasurers, the Department of Finance is deputized to ensure that all provincial, city, and municipal treasurer remain in their present assignments and neither transferred, detailed, reassigned, whether temporary or permanent, to another province, city, or municipality, except upon prior written authority of the Commission, nor allowed to go on leave of absence from office during the period starting 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after the election, except upon prior written approval of the Commission. This is through the Regional Election Director. Probably because that is why he's here. At least nakailan ta sa ato. Creation of task force, BACLAS, task force to tear down and remove unlawful election materials. A task force will be created in each city municipality composed of the election officer as the chairman, chief of police of the PNP as the vice chairman, and the representatives from the DPWH and the DNR as members. The chairman of the task force may also include other agencies if he so desire. The city of Oroquieta, we already include the BFP, the Bureau of Fire Protection. Next, please. What is the duties and functions of the task force? Tear down and remove campaign propaganda materials posted in public places outside the common poster area. Because as you know, we have posted common poster area where they could lawfully post their campaign materials. To tear down and remove all prohibited forms of campaign materials will be posted or displayed in public places. To monitor and watch out persons posting or distributing said unlawful election paraphernalia. And to submit a report of said duties, activities to the office of the regional director. The election officers immediately send a notice. Whenever there is a violation, the EO will send a notice to remove to the notice to remove to the candidates their designated address for election purpose indicated in the certificate of candidacy. In case of failure to remove the same within 72 hours or 3 days from notice, such candidate is presumed to be the owner of the person who caused such violation. So kung dili niya i-remove, it is presumed that it belongs to him and he will be liable for subsequent prosecution. Lawful election propaganda, mo ni siya, legal bond papers sa mga pamphlets, letters, it could be letters to vote, urging people to vote is prohibited, is allowed. Posters, dapat 3 by feet lang. And for streamers, 3 by feet. 3 by 8 is ang kanang mga sa private properties with the consent of the owner, because there is an issue of that in the last election. Okay, in view of that case in Bacolod versus Comelec, where the Supreme Court had ruled that it is a parcel of their freedom of expression. Next. Wait, dili sa napo isa. Last, training plan. Training plan no? Training plan is actually more on sa DepEd for our budget officers or treasurer officials. Next. Executive. Next. Briefing, budget. There will be food allocated, and then training supplies and for reproduction, for the training from pets to the eagles. Next there. BSEA briefing, budget manual, briefing of electoral boards. Number of participants per class, for teacher, 70 person. Location will be food, training, supplies, and LCDs. Briefing for our Barangay Board of Canvassers. Number of participants per class will be 100 persons. And then allocation will be food, training supplies, and reproduction for fresh and sub-canvassing BPOC, and then LCDs. Briefing for our DESOR, Department of Education Supervising Officials. Number of participants per class, 70 persons. Allocation will be food, training, supplies, same. Next. Briefing schedules, executive briefing for EOs, arrests, and PES was already conducted. However, for briefing of EBs and BBOCs, it will be on September 16, 23, and 30. It will be subject to schedule later. Participants will be the EBs, Barangay Board of Canvassers, fresh BBOCs, and sub-canvassing units. Trainers will be the EOs. Briefing of DepEd or DESO will be on October 7 and 14, Saturdays, mostly on Saturdays at the training. Participants will be the DESOs. And then modules will be Constitution, Composition, and appointment of electoral boards. And then during election day, watchers, forms, document supplies, casting of votes, counting of votes. Next, Jen, please. Then we also will be discussing isolation polling place, preparation and safekeeping of ERs and other election forms, delivery and transmittal of election returns, canvass and proclamation, contingency plan, election-related incidents and catastrophe, and then briefing materials, PowerPoint and handouts. Next subject. Funding requirements. These are our legal basis, no, for the assistance of the LGU to COMELEC. No? We have the Omnibus Election Code, Local Government Code, and the COMELEC Resolution 9739, which has not been repealed. According to the Omnibus Election Code, Section 50, local government shall appropriate such funds to defray such necessary and reasonable expenses of the members of the Board of Election Tellers, Board of Canvassers, and the printing of election forms and procurement of other election paraphernalia and the installation of polling booths. And then next, under the local government code, particularly under section 532 thereof, it provides that the amount of 10% allocation for the Kabataan Barangay is provided in section 103, Batas Bangunsa, bilang 337. This is the old local government code. Is hereby reappropriated for the purpose of funding the first election mentioned. For regular elections of the Sangguniang Kabataan, funds shall be taken from the 10% of the barangay funds reserved for the Sangguniang Kabataan as provided for in Section 328 of the Code. Section 328 refers to the reversion of funds if it is not used. And then under COMELEC Resolution number 9739, it provides for therein to require all local government units to set aside such amounts as may be necessary to augment the appropriations of the Commission for the conduct of the 2023 BSEA, which in no case shall be less than 10,000 but not more than 10% of the general fund of barangays which have been reserved and set aside for the Sangguniang Kabataan. So, it is very safe, no, to allocate some funds for COMELEC, especially in the conduct of the coming elections. Next. This will be utilized, the assistance of the LGO will be utilized for the transportation allowance of the EBs, additional honoraria of the members of the EBs, Before it is Board of Election Tellers, now they are called electoral boards. And for trainings and meetings. Thank you. That will conclude my presentation. Election. Uma naman. Thank you. And once again, good morning.
Thank you, sir, for that very informative discussion. Now, moving on to the discussion on disbursement bond to be tackled by Attorney Roslyn Smith, the City Election Officer of Azamil City. A round of applause, please.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this conference. And to proceed with our discussions, let me bring your attention to resolution number 10944, or is known to be the rules and regulations on the prohibitions against the release, disbursement, or expenditures of public funds, construction of public works, issuance of treasury warrants and similar devices in connection to the October 30, 2023 Barangay and SK election. Under this law, this is, of course, the basis for this is under the 1987 Constitution that says the Commission has the authority or is mandated to administer and enforce laws relative to the conduct of elections and plebiscite, referendum, and recall. Another law also that's been the basis for this resolution is under the Omnibus Election Code that provides that an election offense is committed when any person undertakes the construction of any public works or issues or avails of treasury warrants, undertaking future delivery of money or anything of value chargeable against the public funds. Now, under this prohibition, we have periods. As regarding social services project, the period for the prohibition will commence on September 15, 2023 to October 30, that's 45 days, where the implementing agencies are the national, the regional, provincial, or the LGU for that matter. As regarding the case where the implementing agencies is the barangay, of course the prohibition commences 20 of October to 30. That's exactly 10 days. While the general provision is against the release, disbursement, and expenditures of public funds, there is this exception. Of course, an interested party may file a request for exemptions for these projects, activities and programs, and to the Commission on Election. Well, it is true that we have this provision. The law also entitles certain cases like assistance to individual in crisis situation whereby the provision does not follow. In fact, the delivery of basic services such as the food, clothing, memorial, and of similar nature is not restricted. Also, in cases of calamities and disasters, they are exempted from the prohibition against release or disbursement of these public funds. As regarding also the prohibition on disbursement for the construction of public works, the general rule again is prohibited siya within the 10 days period. I mean, from October 20 to 30 na October. However, naatay mga ongoing constructions that also are exempted. But the requirement here is the submission of that request for exemption. And of course, the law department went on to enumerate what are this list of ongoing construction. And one is all ongoing construction that is funded by contracts, and then another is ongoing construction funded by foreign, and also those kind of existing construction na been implemented prior to the 20 October. So, kumbaga the period here is those ongoing construction ng barangay prior to the 20 this October. Now, all these requests will be assessed, examined, and corresponding certificate of exemption will follow. And also, there are still projects, program, activities, we call this the PPAs na to be implemented pa. But then again, the Commission is allowing it to be for implementation, provided that the conditions are to be followed, such as when this project, when these PPAs shall be in accordance with our Commission added rules, and also that these projects is been like publicly known, no, or there is some kind of information dissemination as to the nature of this project. And finally, that if you are to implement this kind of projects, programs, or activities, the purpose is ensuring that it is not for, let's say, to further the candidacy or for campaigning purposes. The purpose indeed is only to benefit the trusting public and not for personal gain ng kandidato or any officer entrusted with the custody of these public funds. Okay, now I guess that's it. The resolution is more of short lang, and there will be issues or concerns for you later on. And I have here my kind Provincial Director. We're happy that he's around, and also our best to answer all your concern regarding all these resolutions, which will be our basis and our guide for this coming election. Okay, I'm telling you, the answer available to answer all this. No, it's kind of complicated. Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for that informative discussion. Now, to give us an insight on the Committee on Kontrabigay, may we have Attorney Milber G. Alinas, CPA, the Provincial Election Supervisor of Misamis Occidental. A round of applause, please.
Okay. Thank you. First of all, ako mong pasalamatan sa pag-respond sa among invitation for this day's command conference, coordinating conference. Importante na after our discussions, i-clarify na ito ng issues o sa inyong concerns na sa different agencies para uniform ta dili sa aming Misamis Occidental. No? Ang i-provide kanina sa mga lawyers, dili ito kayo detalyado ha. At least tatay guide basis para kamo sa municipal o city level makadiscuss kung mo diretso sa inyo ang election officers. Pero nalaman na diri, kung naman clarifications, you take this opportunity to ask anything about election laws. So this is a new resolution sa COMELEC, the resolution on Kontrabigay, COMELEC resolution number 10946. Kinimagong sitwasyon sa vote buying, murag cancer na yun sa tuwang demokrasya, no? It's grabe na naabusan o pila na ka-elections, wala kitay na prosecute. So kanina more on sa different agencies to ato ang emphasis nabila sa DepEd o sa LGUs, treasurers, para sa budgetary o mga training departments o yan na mga support agencies. Pero kining Kontrabigay, ato gining paningkamutan, support of the AFP and PNP, naapod si Fiscal Provincial Prosecutor Gumok para i-prosecute ng mga violators sa vote buying. Naapod ang DILG, we had a discussion last week of all the municipal and city DILG. They clarified po na ang issues na regarding sa elections. So, next slide. So there is a creation of Committee on Kontrabigay, no? This is to ensure the efficient implementation and enforcement through the whole of the nation approach of all policies and guidelines of the Comelec. Now, this is to curb the vote buying. So for every region, natay committee on kontrabigay. Sa province, napon tayo provincial committee on kontrabigay and down sa level sa municipal at cities. So kita siguro din sa province, sir, na naman tayo PEMAC, ato na mag-activate atong PEMAC PD, no? So this will serve siguro as our committee to receive complaints. Ang ato ang PEMAC, no? Next slide. So the mandate of this resolution is to ensure that the members shall render the necessary support and assistance, especially before the election day, on election day, and post-election in accordance with their respective mandates. So, muna itong composition sa Committee on Kontrabigay. Sa province, dinatawagis ko itong national, na ito, regional, dito sa province, provincial na. Of course, from the Comelec, the Provincial Election Supervisor, then from DepEd, atong highest ranking official sa DepEd na ako, PNP, nasa PD, sa AFP, nasa Bagcom, and NBI. Labay taga NBI, we invited NBI to this conference na I don't know if present pa sila lang. NBI, the Provincial Prosecutor, and representative from Citizens Fund. Labay kayo sa CIB? Yes sir. Thank you sir. Thank you for coming. So the same composition sa city or municipal level. Next slide. So these are the powers and functions of the local committee on kontrabigay. Of course, to implement all the policies of the Comelec regarding vote buying and vote sealing. Since bago siya na resolution, we will encourage, we ask your help for the information dissemination under your resolution para at least ma-prevent na to, o dili magkali daw ito ma-prevent, ma-minimize ang incident sa vote buying. Kumplito maging din tanan, na si PD, na si Bagcom, Sir Kendall, Dwight mo na to sir. Sir, kontrabigay, pwede ba ito magkuta o at least one kakaso ka ng munisipyo? Kaya sir, munisipyo sila sa misong, at least isa lang atong mag-prosecute sa vote buying. Kaya dili ba yun na malimod na ito na naamon yun na, wala lang yung tayo ibuhan. Na yung mga steps nila unsaon, kaya upan, discuss na lang ako later on ang procedural requirements. Okay, next slide. Then, next slide. Okay, these are the functions. Next slide. So what are the prohibited acts, no? Prohibited acts. The resolution says, any person na, klaro, dili na ingon nga kandidato ra. So, any person who gives, offers, or promise. So, dili lang ingon nga kandidato ra ang pwede kasuhan. No? Any person who gives, offers, or promise money or anything of value, etc., directly or indirectly, or cause an expenditure to be made to any person, etc., to vote for or against any candidate or withhold his vote in the election. Okay, mauna ang definition sa vote buying. Then, sa vote selling, any person, association, corporation, group, or community who solicits or receives directly or indirectly na ay grupo, nalisuporta o kandidato. So, katong grupo nagsolicit o na-funding, na-kumpanya in the form of, in kind, hatagong ayuda. Under this resolution, there is a presumption or it is presumed an act of vote buying. So, pwede na to sila i-prosecute under this resolution. Next slide. Other forms or acts of vote buying. Kay take naman karon, GCash na online, appeal niya po siya sa vote buying. So, the act of vote buying and vote sealing includes the giving of money through digital or online banking transactions or any other mobile wallet applications. No? Muna kinakla na ito ang taga-Survey, NBI, kasi lang expert ani para po bala na ito ang engage in this kind of activities. Next slide. So, mauli ang mga presumed vote buying and vote selling. Number one, possession, delivery of any coins, notes, money, cards, or anything of value. Pero na ay kinahanglan nga requirement together with the sample ballots. No? And the position itself of the monies, cards, kung wala yung sample ballot, madinay man na together with the sample ballots and other campaign materials. Presumption lang na siya. Ha? Ang pagpakonbinto, lahi na, trabaho na ni Provincial Fiscal kung saan niya pag-prosecute ang violators. Then second, offering or promising something of value in consideration for someone's vote. Maumagandaan niya sa vote buying in exchange of one's vote. Kini, long lives or queues of registered voters or persons for distribution of money, insurance, health cards, grocery items, and such other goods intended to be used to induce the person to vote for or against any candidate. So, kada mga linya-linya niya, o niya sabay na rin itong pangupan niya, nga kini, si kapitan itong suportahan, it is, I presume, vote buying activity. Next slide. House-to-house election campaign. Pero tinaniya, naisumpay pa rin na. House-to-house election campaign which involves the giving of money, etc. to induce the household or occupants to vote in elections of a candidate in a convention or similar selection process of a political party. House-to-house campaign, pero naanan ay mga ginala o bisiri, ayuda, pero butarito, it is an act, a presumed act of vote buying. Then holding of bingo games, talent shows, etc., mga palingga, nga ginamensyon ang ngalan sa kandidato, na ilahan mga poster, wala problema na magpalinga. Pero kung nagpalinga na mga sponsor na niya sa mga kandidato, incumbent o din-incumbent, it is a presumed act of vote buying. So kita sa municipal level, tabangi mi, gamay na kami kumilik, duha na kamang empleyado kada munisipyo. Kamo, ang among ginipitize, tabangi mi ninyo, especially the DILG and the PNP to monitor this kind of activities. Next slide. Employing hakot system, kana, bawal na, no? Or gathering of 2 or more registered voters in election day for the purpose of distributing money or anything of value. No? Klaro na. Kini, bato, possessing, transporting, and or carrying cash more than 500,000 pesos. No? Pero lagi mo na isumpay. Lagi mo na isumpay. Along with campaign paraphernalia. Kung kwarta lang yung magigunitan, wala yung problema. Pero kwarta, above 500,000 together with the campaign paraphernalia and or corroborative evidence during the period of 2 days before election day, then it is a presumed act of vote buying. Next slide. Today, sinsilyo. Karon, pasinsilyo mo. Nasi chip mo, pangharamon niyo mo niya. Kanang pasinsilyohan na to, at least 20,000 pesos, denomination sa 200, 150, 20, tapos may bata 20 na. Wala naman tayo dismiss pa. Yellow naman tayo blue. During the period of 5 days before election and on election day. No, except of course, mga sa bangko, mga tindahan, pwede na siya. Exception na. Pero kanang ikaw, kandidato, labi na kandidato, na kay pundo masinsilyo, unsa mo din na mo. Di ba? Then, under this resolution, it is a presumed act of vote buying. Kini, conducting medical missions, legal aid, feeding programs, no? In which the names of mangalan, gibalik-balik kong mention, it is a presumed act of vote buying. Napag yun? Hiring or appointing of more than 2 officers per precinct. Para dili mo vote buying, i-hire mo na mutaran ng officer. No, nag-iyon ang resolusyon, duha na. Kung mas dagan sa duha, ang inyong officer, there is a presumption of vote buying. Labaw na rin. Possession of indelible ink, no? Or chemical that may remove indelible ink on election day. No? Except of course, necessary sa imong occupation or authorized by the commission. This is the possessing of blank, hindi na blank. Blank original ballots. Blank original ballots during election day. Presumed vote buying and such other analogous circumstances. Next slide. So, kini po niya resolution, itagaan ng power ang ato ang law enforcement agencies such as NBI, AFP, PNP to conduct surveillance. Surveillance. No? And the surveillance of a person or of in a place kung na mga information of activities like vote buying. But of course, if this provision or power of the law enforcement agencies is being abused, they will face the corresponding administrative and criminal liability. So pa. Okay. The law or the cabinet resolution said, during the surveillance of the law enforcement agencies, if there is a reasonable ground to believe that the act of vote buying or vote stealing has been committed, kanang reasonable ground, case-to-case basis yun na. And it should be exercised with extreme caution sa ato ang mga law enforcers. No? That vote buying and vote stealing has been committed is actually committed or about to be committed, warrantless arrest, then you may make a warrantless arrest. Otherwise, kung wala, you build up your case, determine the existence of probable cause for the arrest, and the PNP shall secure a search warrant before the proper courts. Okay? Pwede ang valid warrantless arrest kung falls ka sa exception. Kung sa ito sa rules of court, applicable aning 10944 na 10946 na resolution. Next. Money ban. Money ban. Now, there is a money ban for 48 hours. So, that is 2 days before election. No? There is a money ban exceeding 500,000 pesos. No? But of course, mo paris kina commission if the money is together with the campaign materials or corroborative evidence sa kandidato. So, for this purpose, I would like to call the attention of the PNP and the AFP that all cabinet checkpoints all over the country, so in the entire Miso, will conduct a 24-hour money ban checkpoint kining 2-day period before election day. So that would be on 28 and 29 October. Ayuda. I already discussed this atong ayuda. This is a total ban of ayuda. Ato nang determine kung sa man i-apply ng ayuda. Kini nga ayuda mao ning gihatag sa kandidato. Kandidato, dili ning sa gobyerno ha, lain ng gobyerno, kini sa kandidato. So kung ang kandidato makatag-hatag ayuda, total ban na siya. Pero kung katong ayuda nahatag sa gobyerno o sa LGU, mao tong gitawag nga social services. Lahi po ito ang kaso na discuss kanina ni Atty. Balidon. Next slide. Okay, to prosecute vote buying. Maabot na rin na. Inikabot sa eleksyon, o angat eleksyon. Daghay magsumbong-sumbong, daghay mag-text-text, nasulo na po opisina, tawagan ng polis, tawagan ng army. Dahil mag-buying rin, mag-buying nito. Anak na, sakot na daan, para dili mo magpatagaw pasangil. You execute an affidavit of the complainant attesting to the offer or the form of para ma-prove na ito ang vote buying. Kaya pwede na maglama-lama. No? Pwede na maglama-lama. Kung kita sa office, COMELEC or the AFP, PNP or ato ang local committee of Kontrabigay makadawat og report, then we will have to investigate. Kung makita nato ang case, then the committee on local Kontrabigay will execute the case for the filing of the appropriate complaint before the prosecutor or the COMELEC. Concurrent man ato ang jurisdiction. Then of course, the affidavit of the complaining witnesses. Dili kay basta-basta mag-report lang. Affidavit, notarized. Para kung naglama-lama, mapailan na ito ang perjury. Or, kung nasa korte, false testimony. Kasi pagsagara, kita may mapangunan eh. Pikas kampo, tawag din pikas kampo. Jadi mag-execute ito kapilabit. Ino na ba rin tagoy na nakpan? So, laroon na ito eh. Okay. Take note, non-compliance with these requirements shall be account for dismissal of the complaint. Next slide. So who are liable? Oni, akong ingon kanina, dili lang ang kandidato. Any person man, so the giver, offerer, promisor, as well as the solicitor, acceptor, and recipient. Kung na maligya, na ay kapalit, buhanan. Naibaligya, nagipalit na baligya boto, gipalit niya boto. Then, mag-uban nyo na sila. Di pwede ang isa ibaligya, pero ang isa ang ipikas ka part, di wali palit. But, the resolution nag-provide of immunity to any person who voluntarily gives information or willingness to testify. Take note, voluntarily. Dili kay nanagpan na ayak pag-iingon nga mo testigo ko. Dapat, wala pa'y charges, mo voluntarily gives information lang. Pero discretion niya po lang ni Provincial Prosecutor if mo avail ba sila as state witness. Next slide. The form of the complaint, motu proprio complaints, kung ang mga reports parang i-investigate sa COMELEC, pwede i-report sa EO, pero tungkol sa kadagan sa trabaho sa COMELEC on election day, hindi na nila maapas. Napanay ang timanon ng mga forms, supplies, mga bugma, no? Mga training. So, this is a coordinated action yun with our different agencies diri sa Misamis Occidental. If not initiated motu proprio, meaning na ay private complainant, the complaint must be verified and shall file with the office of the Provincial Prosecutor kung diri sa Misamis Occidental. Now, Law Department, through COMELEC, Provincial Prosecutor, kung diretso. Ang diferensya lang, Law Department, muna sa COMELEC na initiate na complaint, padalas Manila, balik din sa region, ilabay na po sa province, ay ang kanda kong investigation. Pero kung diretso ka, Provincial Prosecutor, diretso na niya ang kanda kong preliminary investigation. Ang diferensya lang, kailangan prosecutor ka ron, nasa sa tuwing niya, fiscal, undirected, reasonable certainty or of conviction. Murag lisod kay na probable, dili na probable cause, reasonable certainty of conviction na, taas na level. So, kapuyan sa i-dismiss na diretso. COMELEC, wapan, relax mo kayong rules. Pwede na ito na pailan diretso. Then, the body or agency that first take cognizance of the complaint shall exercise jurisdiction to the exclusion of others. Kung nag-file na siya sa COMELEC, ang prosecutor, dili na mo ano na ng kaso. Pero una nag-file sa prosecutor, di na mo ka pwede mo file sa COMELEC. Okay? During the open forum, gawas na inyong talang pangutan. I think that would end my report. Thank you and my mutan.
Thank you, sir, for that insightful discussion. Now, let us hear the updates from the Philippine National Police to be given by Police Colonel Dwight D. Bonato, the Provincial Director of the Philippine National Police, Misamis Occidental. A round of applause, please.
Good morning, sirs and ma'am. I am Police Major Kapal, the Operations Officer of the Misamis Occidental Police Provincial Office. I will proceed directly with my presentation because the participants and guests have already been mentioned earlier. So the scope of my presentation, as shown, the preparation for BSc 2023, proposed deployment for BSc 2023, based on order situation, accomplishment report on checkpoints, election area concern, assessment, issues and concerns, way forward. Next, for the calendar of activities undertaken in relation to the BSc. So, as shown. Next, for the accomplishment or gun ban, one arrested at Plaridel for the election, for violation of gun ban at 10591 for illegally possessing firearms. Next, for our proposed deployment plan, so we ask for the AFP column, sir, may we request you, sir, for the augmentation for us, because we are required by our regional office that at least namin sir, proposal na deployed personnel ikan sa AFP, also with the Coast Guard, sir. Kay this week ako i-submit ang report na nanami proposed deployment augmentation from EAP and Coast Guard. So for our proposed deployment, we need at least 445 augmentation PNP personnel from the regional headquarters. Next, for peace and order situation update, so for the criminality, in the year 2022, a total of 939 incidents were recorded, while in 2023, 890 incidents were recorded, representing an increase of 49 incidents or 5.22% in comparison. Next. Also, for our comparative focus crime, for theft incident, there has been an increase of 2 theft incidents compared to last year. And homicide, there has been an increase of 6 homicide incidents over the 2 comparative years. Next. For the crime clearance efficiency, there was an increase of 0.04 recorded compared to the previous year, and for the crime solution efficiency, there was an increase of 0.49% recorded compared to previous year. Next, for the accomplishment on community checkpoints. Next. So, negative, wala tayong nakuha, sir, sa community during the kind of checkpoints. Next. For our election area of concerns, we have for election areas of concern, a total of 10 fall into the yellow category. 2 from Osamis, 7 from Bonifacio, and 1 from Calamba. Total of 10. Maybe ask also the AP counterparts, sir, if nag-conform pa yung natong data. So, para at least naikon na itong data na tumba. Next, for our assessment. So, Misamis Occidental remains peaceful and manageable despite threat from CTG and criminal gang. Peace development and remain to be the top priority as it continues to attract investors and create business opportunities. And Misamis Occidental is a legal place to invest and do business. For our issues and concerns, augmentation of AFP personnel to be deployed in polling centers in remote barangays. presence of CTGs in the hinterland barangays, no mobile networks in some hinterland barangays, and lack of vehicles to transport troops in remote areas. And for our way forward, the active social media campaign and encourage all registered voters to exercise their right to vote and choose freely the leaders they want to prove. Sustain the Oplan Papasita and implementation of search warrants against loose firearms and illegal drugs. Conduct silence and COMEX to ensure operational readiness of all police stations and mobile forces. On-site visits to all polling places to ensure the safety for everyone and round-the-clock deployment of security personnel. Next, that will be all, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now will be the updates from the Armed Forces of the Philippines to be delivered by Lieutenant Colonel Jose Andre R. MPA, the Battalion Commander of the 10th IB 1 IB. Sir.
Thank you. For our briefing for 10th IB, we will be going directly to the presence of NPAs or the communist terrorist groups here in the province. So I'll be presenting the threat confronted, our developments, and our disposition and location of troops. So for the threat, we are confronting the guerrilla front Sendong. So they are weakened, the status nila is weakened. Then 12 manpower, 12 individuals were in fact 11 firearms ang hawak nila. So as of the moment, as we speak, we are in constant focused military operations targeting the group, the armed individuals. So lately, because of the pressure that we exert on the armed group, 3 of them surrendered. So we are expecting still 5 of them would be returning back to the folds of the law. So for the first half of the year, we recorded armed encounters from starting from March. So on these areas, Lucas Haina, Calamba, and Concepcion. So these are, ang limit nito is nasa foot ng Mount Malindang. So they are in nasa baba. So for surrenderies, recorded namin yung 6 sa kanila. Surrenderies. So ito kasi yung may mga tama ng bala. Wounded sila, kaya sila bumaba na, including meron pa kami na-expect. So for overall, we are confronting yung 12 individuals already. So compare that to the whole province, they are very small, squad formation. So very small lang sila, so mahirap hanapin. So ang kinakapanan namin is ng 10 IB is that we are in pursuit of them. So, hindi lang yung armed encounter ang hinahanap namin, including yung pag-surrender na sila. So ito yung from the start of the year, 2023, and then for this year, we are hoping that we will declare the province as insurgency-free. So for the status of the focus areas, these are the barangays that previously threatened or influenced by them. 26 of them. So because of for the previous actions that we have the community support programs on these barangays, inter-barangays, na-declare natin sila na clear.
So now they are on the run, the 12 individuals, they are on the run, they are not in these barangays. Okay? So for our disposition and location of troops, you can see for the whole province that we are located in Barangay Burgos here in Oroquieta City. And then we are spread out in Barangay Concepcion, Donville, and in Sinahaban. So those are the companies. And then also we have the 27 patrol bases. Lahat yan merong presence ng regular and then captains. 27 of them, including yung barangays Bukal here in Oroquieta. So for the answer for the issues and concern of the PNP, we will be providing our support for the troops na kakailangan, including yung requirements ng transportation. We are open for that. And then yung security for all, we will be providing that. Then as we are deputized by the component. So in totality, we are very confident that walang mangyayari na karahasan or atrocities from the NPAs. So because we are in pursuit of them hanggang sa ngayon. So we cannot say na nandun sila sa Donville, nandun sila sa Pagdalaga. No. Wala sila doon because wala sila sa mga barangay. So nandun sila sa mga bundok. So hindi sila doon sa mga bahay, hindi nasa bundok. So we can provide security doon sa mga malalayo. Then just to assure na patuloy or peaceful ang elections natin come October 30. Thank you very much.
The open forum to be facilitated by Attorney Rizalio Alcoran, the Election Officer 3 of Lubizana. A round of applause, please.
Thank you, Dan. Good morning, everyone. So we are now in our open forum. To our stakeholders who are present in this activity, so may I ask from who wants to ask questions first? From the sir, the ILG. Sir, the ILG.
May buntag sa tanong.
Good morning, good morning.
Yeah, I think this is more of an information na lang because this was raised during our learning session last week with Attorney Alinas. There was this guidance from the Executive Director of the COMELEC saying that those job order employees of the LGUs who will file their certificate of candidacy are ipso facto resign, right? And this is an information na siguro sa tayo because in the prior years, the DILG opined, the DILG issued a conflicting opinion on that matter. The opinion of the DILG was it's not considered resign. So during last Friday's management conference in the regional office, I raised this issue. And it was agreed, na ako na ang legal officer, with this conflicting opinion of the DILG and the Executive Director's guidance on the matter, we believe that we will take precedence on the guidance of the Executive Director. So this is the information of everybody. I know you have your job orders in your cities and municipalities, and it is not the DILG's opinion that will take precedence in this particular time because it's really the government who will call the shots. No? Sila magkaroon ang nagmando kay election period man. So, set aside sa nato itong opinion, that was the agreement. Although we raised this to the central office, kaya central office man ang naghatag at mga DILG opinion. So, giklaro dito na ay mga GOs, na ay mga tana sa ato ang mga cities and municipalities, di resign siya upon filing of the certificate of candidacy. No, this is just an information that we discussed that with Attorney Alinas last week. And I raised that during our management conference last Friday also. But I have a question. Are these parang, i-raise mo na ako din, pero kurang kinahanglan pa na mo, diskasan ka. I think kumilig man yun ang masunod this time. No? Are the barangay officials considered elective barangay officials and they are covered in this particular prohibition? Kaya nakita na ako ganyan sa funding requirements which is presented earlier. There is this counterpart funds from the barangay, taken from the 10% SK funds. Now, actually these are issues na gikan sa ground that I need to ventilate also. There are those barangays wherein they're appointed, like for example, BHW, panels, even the treasurer, ini medyo problema tani, the treasurer and the secretaries, nag-file sila sa ilang certificate of candidacy. My first question is, are they ipso facto resign upon filing of their certificate of candidacy? Second, if they're considered resign, especially sa treasurer, kay siya ang nagpagawa sa bukta kung resign di sila, no? So, pero nakita na ko, ang ban period is 10 days no, sa barangay position, 10 days before the election. No? So, kung nag-resign siya, ay kung nag-file siya sa certificate of candidacy during the filing of the certificate of candidacy, and the position of the COMELEC is ipso facto resign. Now, pwede pa sila maka-appoint o treasurer this time. No? Kaya wala pa may ban period for the barangay. Para lang magpagawa sila sa kwarta para sa barangay for the funds that will be used during the conduct of the PSK elections. And yung mga accountant na to, budget officer, kabalo din sila. Unique din barangay treasurer, okay na secretary, but for the barangay treasurer, banded man sila. They need to secure again that document with the appropriate agency. So I think we need some guidance on these areas na ay mga situation ni Ali para maka-disperse po sila sa ilang funds para gamiton sa atong barangay and state elections. Unya katong itudo ko na lang, katong i-present katong murag kontra barangay, kontra bigay, medyo nakita na ako karon ang passion sa community to really enforce it. Although kabalo man tanugay na magiging na the vote buying and vote selling. Pero I understand now the passion of the community i-enforce it siya. Ako lang giklaro kayo, huwag kayong nakabantay. No? Kung nasa kita magsugod ng manako, pwede na manako ang effectivity of the 2 days ba to? 2 days before elections? Or kung nasa dapat magsugod na pwede na mag-enforce yung PNP, EFP, and other law enforcement agencies and the team, the committee itself, para mag-enforce na siya na dili pod mabutang sa uncompromising situation ng ating law enforcement agency. Thank you for that.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think the first 2 questions will be addressed by Attorney Roel, sir, regarding disbursements. Job orders and disbursements, sir, your question? Sir Benitez. The first 2 questions. Job orders and disbursements of the barangay treasurers who filed their certificate of candidacy during the filing period, sir.
As to the treasurers, they are appointed officials. Therefore, they are deemed resigned upon filing. So all appointed officials are deemed resigned. Wala may ikuan. Ang kuan ng yun siya, ang adiliday sa kuan na ito, the anti-dynasty. Kung ang atong SK officials are considered barangay officials. Na ay gray area na because i-specify man ang atong election barangay and SK officials whether the prohibition against anti-dynasty applies sa SK. So as to appointed officials, they are deemed resigned. So I don't know how will Department of Finance or DILG will treat the problem as to the vacancy that the Treasurer's Office will create in filing his or her certificate of candidacy. Ano sa pagitong question?
Barangay. Discuss by Sir.
Election period, di ba?
During election period.
Wala. The entire election period. Because one thing also that we development in the BSE election is that once the candidate or a person files his certificate of candidacy, he is already considered a candidate. And therefore, all rules and regulation as a candidate will already apply to him or her. So, during sa iyang, from the filing up to the November 29, which is our election period, all laws will apply as to him. And,
Katulad sir, kontrabigay na job orders. Job orders sir, nga na-employ.
ED naman ako, Executive Director, had issued an advisory. Although sa akong presentation kanina, dili siya bawal, di ba? Dili siya bawal mag-hire. But for purposes of filing, the effect of filing the certificate of candidacy, he is still resigned. But to hire him is not prohibited. Because only those plantilla positions na nasa civil service are considered prohibited. And during the period, September 15 until October 29. Ako lang day na raise for DepEd as kaganina sa among training schedule all Saturdays. Is there any possibility atong ma-insert siya sa weekdays kining inyong training? I understand that classes are already starting.
Sir Eugene Makati, sir. From ASDS Makati.
Yes.
Province.
Sir. Kaganina, September 16, 23, 30, all Saturday in September. And for our Department of Education Supervisor Official Officers, October 7 and 14. Sir, pwede ba niyo ma-insert natin sa weekdays ilang training?
For supervisors, okay kasi pero sa mga teachers, one more time na itong secretary na no disruption ng classes para sa mga teachers.
So sa ESO, pwede siya. Pwede na ito
Pero ang teachers, labi na akong kahandol ng mga klase. So yun.
Even after classes ba? Time, lisod na po kayo sa ila ba? What dili na effective ang briefing kung atong ipugos during sa weekdays.
Yes.
Bisan pa gusto ko nila, pero efficiency sa lecture.
Okay, thank you, Sir Eugene Makati, sir, SDS of the DepEd Province. So, any more questions from the Treasurer of Alaran, Ms. Lucille Hanman?
Hello, Attorney. Good morning.
Good morning.
I am Lucille, the Municipal Treasurer of the Municipality of Alaran. I have a sister who has filed a certificate of candidacy for barangay captain and a brother who also filed a certificate of candidacy for Barangay Kagawan at the barangay where I reside and where I will be voting. Now, my question is, am I still allowed to perform my duties and responsibilities as the treasurer or the municipal treasurer in our town?
Thank you, Ma'am Lucel. So, who will answer the question? I think Sir Noel Bariton.
I think you could still serve as treasurer because
Walay problema.
you're not running.
Walay problema na, Ma'am.
Importante na pag-ayaw ng treasurer.
Walay problema.
Okay, kaya.
Thank you, Ma'am Lucel. So, any more questions from the PNP? COPs from different municipalities and cities?
My question is, there are, in our course of our focus military operations, we are conducting a youth leadership summit. So these are to prevent yung resurgence or recruitment ng NPA sa youth. So sa ngayon, meron SK elections. We would like to push through with the plan for a youth leadership summit. So, is it allowed in this time frame now to have that youth leadership summit?
For me, sir, I do not see any legal impediment in holding such youth summit, as long as it is not done to promote the candidacy or to destroy the candidacy of a certain candidate. So, wala, outside election pa na siya. So, there's no election prohibitions does not apply in such activity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Attorney. Another question is that also in the course of our focus military operations, we have the former rebels. So, yung national agencies would be ngayon lang na-approve yung sakong bigas nila. So, I'm thinking with the briefing of Attorney Reyna, this is a social services, I would ask permission for that.
Yes, there has to be an exemption.
Yes,
Okay, social services. Ang social services applies to all agencies. Now, come September 15 until the 29th of October. So, muna yung prohibition. But if you could secure an exemption from COMELEC, but unfortunately, the last day to file was last September 1. I don't know pag pwede bang makahabol. Hopefully, your AFP's office had sent an exemption, a request for exemption in COMELEC. But I don't know, sir, if an exemption will still come out for you to give the same, well and good. No? Pero pag wala, ay hirap siguro yan.
Yes, we will abide by the law, Attorney, for that matter.
Yes, sir.
Even they are specifically for the former rebels.
Yes, actually, meritorious talaga, no, yung intention ng pagbibigay. Pero, yun nga lang, merong resolution na social services, wala namang inilagay doon na exempt yung ganito, ganyan na mga activities. So, kailangan talaga may exemption, letter or authority of exemption issued by COMELEC for you or for the AFP to conduct the said activity.
Yes, Attorney.
In addition to that law that refers to the social services, these are services that is provided to individual in the normal course. Normal na siya ng mga programs ninyo. The prohibition actually is
10 days only, from 20 October to 29 October. So within that 10 days, within that, you cannot do so. But of course, dahil pa wala ang 20 October, then you can proceed with the distribution of those basic services. And that is within the ambits of the law when we refer to basic services such as food.
Thank you, Attorney.
Dito lang tabo once sa 10 days one. Anyway, it's a short period lang only. Yes, sa barangay.
Thank you, Attorney. Follow.
I was about to ask kung hindi ba sila appeal sa assistance in crisis situation which you earlier presented are exceptions of the prohibition or the ban, including katong disaster related.
Yes, in fact, in cases of disasters and calamities, there is not a requirement for exemption. So it's always allowed so that we can do the distribution of these relief goods intended for the purpose, such as this relief disasters and calamities. As for the social services entailing food, I mentioned in medicine, you can have it done, but before the 10 days prohibitory period, okay? Short term lang siya so that we can have it all done beyond pa, before the 20.
I'm interested magundi ka partner magundi sa ICLIP na program. We are supposed to engage the governor today to push through with that activity, so at least we are guided on what to do.
Yes, because they are also categorized as the vulnerable sector of our society. So they can be in that category.
Assistance in crisis
So that we
situation.
can push through with the assistance. But they may some period prior to the 10 days now.
Yes, already. Another question, sir, kay medyo gray area po di sa DILG gapon. Kay problema ba po di, ano ba problema actually, the challenge of the barangays, while we're seeing they are appointed and by the puno barangay, dili man kundi sila unlike us in the civil service na covered sila sa civil service, dili man sila kinahanglan o confirmation or concurrence by the Civil Service Commission kini mga appointed nato nga mga barangay even the secretary and the treasurer. So mo-apply ba po gihapon ang katong giingon sa covenant and the law nga dili pwede mag-campaign for any candidate ang atong mga appointed na mga officials to include the barangay officials. Kaya mo ni medyo gagubot kaayo pa sa una pag hindi gabuhaton ang mga BHW, mga tanod, pagpangumpa niya to as anang na kandidato. Pwede ba na siya? What's the position of the Comelec on the matter? Thank you.
Tinayahan ko lang yung opinion. I am not speaking the position of Comelec because I am just an ordinary ego of Misamis Occidental. Listen. Because sa atin na na-discuss, they're not even, the barangay is not even prohibited in hiring them during election period. Kasi nga, hindi man sila civil service na mga positions. So, in a sense, they are treated as ordinary private employees where they could exercise their right to support whoever candidate that they will supporting. Kasi murag na-treat siya as private employee because he is not even his employment is not even prohibited during the election period. Ako lang yung opinion, sir. I may be wrong. I will warn that. So, pero I will, in the next, at least, tagaan ko niyo mong assignment sa next PGSCC that we will have. I will search for any legal Comelec solution pertaining to that matter.
Thank you very much, sir, because if I may recall our department, the ALGS, as an opinion nga dili pwede. Unang gusto na ko, kasi pareha sa GO nga pwede ang DLG, dili pwede. That's why I need to get the opinion of the Comelec because at the end of the day, the Comelec opinion will take precedence over the DILG. And that's the position of our office when we had our management conference. So if you can do it black and white, sir, so we can also disseminate the same to our municipal and local government operations officers of the DILG. Kay kami magugabatuhon ani nga mga pangutana, and we need the black and white guidance from your office. Thank you very much, sir.
Kato, sir, they are asked by the candidates to campaign with them. Ana lugar?
Actually, the truth of the matter is yes. Kay problema man po di sila dili mo kumpanya mo, dili incumbent ka po ng barangay, tanggal na po di sila. Kay they can be replaced anytime because they are appointed, and that's the dilemma of the barangay. That's the reality of the ground. Thank you.
At this, I know that is the case. No? Kaya kita sa mga government official, they're not totally prohibited. No? If we are saying that I support this president, that is not prohibited because that is part of our freedom of expression. But when you say vote for this president or vote for this candidate, that is already campaigning and that is prohibited. So kung iyang ihimo is suporta ko ang kandidato, wala man ay buwan. In fact, because it's a constitutional right, freedom of expression, di ba? Pag-support or pag-express ay kung galing natin issue ng task force pag-class. Kaya pag private property, buwan siya, pre-promote na ba? Magkabuhan siya sa iyong buhaton on the guise of freedom of expression. And I think that is where the abuse is coming from sa mga private properties. Una, katong last year's election, grabe mga tarpulin, dagko, kayo din naman sa private property. So, huwag na challenge sa task force pag-class.
Okay, sir. So, perhaps regarding sa question ni Sir Benitez, our Provincial Prosecutor's Office na siya sharing iyan idea or opinion, sir.
Thank you. Electioneering mo na siya na aspect. So, akong ilang taon they are appointed by the barangay chairman. Ang ilang color, dili sila Indiano, pero ang ilang color is political position. Because whenever ang ilang kapitan wala na sila. So, co-terminos. Even in the government, local government unit, city, municipality, or province, kung political position ka o co-terminus, allowed ka mga panyang. Otherwise, kung mapili mo wala na ka. So, sa ato ang mga sa ato mga taga-barangay nga i-appoint sa kapitan, para na po, this is also my opinion na they are allowed to campaign. They are allowed to campaign. In a political rally, kay kung mapili na political position maguli, kay kung terminus man, kung mapili na ang ilahang wala na magulog sila. So natural lang na mulaban sila. For the civil service, neutral lang ta. Mao nga di ka pwede magkapangampanya. Pero sila kay kung terminus man, allowed sila mangampanya.
So at least safe that prosecutor naman
Thank you, Ms. Gano.
sila man ang mag-prison.
So, Prosecutor's Office at Provincial Prosecutor, Tiki Tulong, sir. Thank you for that position, sir. Yung mga opinion. So, how about the other agencies of our stakeholders?
Ako lang klaro sir kung makapag storage hub or canvassing area kaya kung ma-adjust na mga deployment kaya mo mag-ibutangan sa mga deployment. So at least magkabalo mo yung police stations na amo iba yung sa polling center. Kaya yung katungkuan sir, tumabot ito sa September 20. Asa siya diretso sa province or by station o municipal or city. Ito lang sir, para sa security sir.
Thank you, sir. Ang polling center, sir, pag barangay election, dito na sa eskwelahan, sir. Muna sa gitawag ka Barangay Board of Canvassers. So kung guys, room ani sir, kapag meron possible po na siya hinuod kung nga mga ka-establish physics. Pero kung isa na ka-establish physics sir, ano na siya nga room pag-canvass. So possible from municipal treasurer's office ang inyong ballot boxes, dito na siya i-deliver asa dakit ang nakatutag dito sa list nga barangay board of canvassers are kanasangan established polling precinct, sir. Okay, sir. Deployment. Thank you, sir.
There's actual case mo doon in relation to the question earlier. Gidagan o treasurer, ang treasurer sa barangay, gidagan, so ipso facto resign. Ang dilemma is, it is very difficult to secure a ban from the Bureau of Treasury. Okay? Ang ako na lang siguro advice to is, kuha na lang ito siya ma'am, if ever, kang si Kapitan, it is incumbent upon him na mag-appoint siya o bagong treasurer. Otherwise, the operations of the barangay will be stalled. Ayun. I believe the securing of ban, application for ban is, it will take 1 week. 1 week. So, karon medyo gamay na lang ang panahon, pero at least na pa. Kay napamantay authority to appoint a new treasurer. Okay, para clear lang. Ang question na lisod na kayo, hindi na ginawa matubag, pero if mangutanag si Kapitan, pag-appoint na karon para dili madilatar ang inyong serbisyo sa barangay. Ano na lang siguro ang ma-advise.
Okay. So, thank you, Atty. Garcia, sa additional na information.
May buntag sa tanan, mamuntanan na ko sa...
Pwede.
Mamuntanan ko, attorney, kay karapang mo ay ang initial. Ang ako ng issues of concern ani kung same ba o budgetary requirements para sa barangay elections, the whole municipal, the whole province, kay anak man ko ni magkalibog na lahi ang budgetary sa uban ang munisipyo, then ang sa mga expenses niya, ilabi na sa issue sa honoraria o sa overtime. Kay ang expense code mangod sa honoraria o sa overtime is naa sa PS. Personal services niya. Dili man makadiretso dahil nito og charge kay subject mo na siya sa limitation niya. So, ang ako lang kung mahimo uniform ang budgetary requirements the whole province.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Unsa ka honoraria yung ibangutan ma'am? Honoraria sa...
Kani sa Board of Election at an attorney sa
Board of Canvassers.
Election canvassers. Kay ang issue na naamang ko'y observation sa audit, no? Na-IOM ang na siya na findings na usa nga requirements adto nga mangayo o certification from the accountant of the community nga wala magdawat ang mga board of canvassers.
Actually, ma'am, barangay election, wala tayong municipal board of canvassers. Wala tayong municipal board of canvassers. So, kung pasabot, katong inyo ang IOM sa una, dili siya mabating karon. Kaya ang BBOC karon ma'am, ang maestra mismo dito sa barangay mo ipag-canvas dito sa municipality. Kung wala tayo issue ng honoraria as to sa municipal board of canvassers, kaya wala ka na siya exist karon ng election. Only sa national and local. Ang honoraria ka nag-isipatan nyo karon ma'am para sa board of canvassers, kumelect ka na ma'am, teachers.
So, wala charge na sa municipal na i-contribute sa mga barangays. Hindi sila mag-claim nila.
Dili, wala siya na ma'am. Wala siya. Wala pa sa expenses.
Klaro lang siya.
Ang sa una, municipal board of canvassers. So, ang municipal board of canvassers ma'am, only national and local elections na siya mag-exist. Pero pag barangay sa Kumiang Kabataan elections, wala yung municipal board of canvassers, only barangay board of canvassers. Nga katong mga maestra na dito sa established polling cluster precincts, sila mo ay mag-canvas, which is ang ilang madawat spark na sa honorarium ng ikan sa Comelec.
Okay, salamat, attorney.
Thank you.
Follow up po din, attorney, bago
kabahin bitaw sa overtime.
Overtime sa asa man?
Diha sa municipal treasurer's office, sa ilang staff. Kaya overtime, naama mo na siya nakasunod sa PS. So, dili ni allowed na mo-release sa ilang.
Mo-release sa overtime?
Sa overtime.
Dapat makatanong ang election expenses ba mo form part siya dito sa mga accounts, sa regular accounts sa municipality or sunod siya sa MOOE?
Form part siya.
Sa regular, sa
Sa
ordinary?
regular na chart of accounts.
Okay ma'am.
Okay, salamat.
Overtime daw sa municipal treasurers. So kung hindi siya pwede dito sa regular account, asa man tayo sulod lang, kung naibag mo overtime, sige, ikaw pa nagtubag. Asa tayo sulod lang. Kung forward part magaling siya sa regular na account sa ano, asa tayo pwede dito lang ang overtime sa treasurer. Nag-remove sila ng overtime during election day.
Pwede siguro na kung sa other professional fees.
So ano yung revise na itong budgetary requirement na i-present sa Comelec?
Sa other professional fees. Kami sa mga accountant, okay ba man?
So pwede, allowed mo claim of overtime ma'am?
O dito lang sa other professional
Sa lain lang account?
O dili overtime na account.
Sa lain na account?
Other professional fees.
Oh, okay. Thank you ma'am. Sugod ba ang mga municipal accountants sana? Ganito sa other professional services i-charge sa overtime sa gigling sa municipal treasurer? Sugod ba municipal accountants? Tingod mo karon ma-uniform na tuwan? Buwan ka lang recording sa expenses. Ma'am, municipal accountants sa?
Good morning, municipal treasurers. Sa ako lang nahibaluan, dapat si budget officer ang makatubag mo tani. Kung correct ba po ani, kaya ako nahibaluan ang election expenses naagi na siya sa MOOE. Dayon, ang election expenses dito na-breakdown, mao ni ang nahibo sa mga previous. Although MOOE siya, pero na siya breakdown nga naa dito ang overtime fee sa mga treasurer staff, mga uban pang mga driver, mga concern sa election.
Okay.
So wala namo ibutang sa PS kay
MOOE.
naa siya sa MOOE kay ang election expenses MOOE man siya. So mao na gihimo sa among budget. So per budget dito gina siya makita. Pero ang buklang kung correct budget diba?
Pero mas safe ma'am kung MOOE hindi mo in-charge. Wala question sa kawan. Wala question sa kawan na siya.
Wala man po.
Hawak mag-rin. Wala question sa kawan.
Dayon,
wala question. So, dito ito in-charge.
In addition po, kaning sa barangay election karon, gahatag man ang barangay. So, among gisulod sa trust fund. So, ang trust fund, it could be PS, it could be MOE, or
So, MOE o other professional services, wala problema. Okay, mga-claim of overtime ang personnel sa municipal treasurer. Treasurer na dahil ma'am, how about the other agencies ba? Nga nag-perform po sila duties as part sa election.
Kung MOE siya, so lahi man po ng account sa MOE, traveling expense, fuel, sa honoraria, sa chart of accounts mo na siya sa commission audit. So kung depende na yun na siya sa auditor na attorney kung unsang ina ang pag-audit mo na dihalagi ni magkatigaw pag nanay mo gawas ni MOE.
Okay. Ang rasyonality na lang, basta kay dili siya mag-question sa auditor, bahala ka sa account.
O, muna diyan. Depende na lang sa opinion sa
Depende na sa opinion po sa every municipalities or accountants or budget officers sa every municipalities and cities.
Ang final siya na ang auditor.
Sa ilang discretion.
Ilang discretion.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, questions?
Good morning everyone. Rich G. Tagpakalang City Budget Officer of Tanggo City. I-share lang ako ang among experience sa Tanggo. Ang among gibuhat aron maligal bitaw wala kaming impediments na matagpuan in the future. Sa MOE ginamo siya that i-breakdown lang siya based sa expenses nga unsay kinahanglan. So naagi other proof dito for the overtime subject to professional tax. However, before na mo gihimo ang expenses, nagpa-pass may of resolution sa council that these amounts for the BSA or for election purposes shall be allowed from them. Kay kung although na may budget but wala may legal basis to be authorized by the council, mahadlok po ni. So before nagsugod ang expenses, nagawin ka resolution from the council that these items are authorized. Nanarap ni Watson.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sir, pwede may bawaan po sa Ay, sir, pwede ba?
Pwede mo malaman.
Pwede ba pong malaman kung anong activity ginawa ng community in support po sa PNP?
Actually, even before the election, the PNP has been preparing for the security preparation of this exercise, no? As of now, we are in the process of accounting ang among resources, manpower and material resources that can be deployed during the election period so that we can really assure the public of their security during their during the casting of their votes, no? So we are closely coordinating with our counterparts sa AFP, Coast Guard, even with the LGUs, so we can really lay down the security preparations for this election.
Kumusta ba ang peace and order sa San Jose?
As of now, we are actually enjoying a very peaceful situation. We have very minimal crime incidents. We have not yet recorded any incidents related to the election. So, but this may change over time. But with that, we're very much prepared for any challenges that may occur within this period.
Sa may activities na ginawa sa PNP ano po yung mga activities na pinagda po ng PNP?
Actually, we are now on the aggressive stance to enforce checkpoints, gun bans, Oplan Bakal Sita, and all other police operations so that we can really prevent the proliferation of loose firearms, which is usually the most preferred instrument in carrying out election-related violent incidents.
Anong mga preparation niyo para sa pag-mitigate sa mga vote buying?
We are closely coordinating with our COMELEC counterparts. We have been briefed about the guidelines of the COMELEC about that. It has been disseminated to our Chief of Police down to the last personnel of the Misamis Occidental so that they will be made aware of the provisions of that regulation. So I think we're ready to enforce that come election period.
Sir, ano yung reaction niyo sir tungkol sa challenge na pumilig sa inyo na kahit isang lang ibig sa kolektiba ni mahuli kayo?
We will try to do our best to comply with that requirements from the COMELEC.
So, paano po natutugunan ng PNP since the barangays of the province is more than 490?
490.
Then, ang PNP is kunti lang. So,
Yes,
paano natutugunan yung pangailangan?
We're really much outnumbered, no? But we have to strategize our deployment so that we can determine areas of concern where we can prioritize yung deployment ng personnel with the assistance from our counterparts from the AFP and other security forces. And from there, I think we can complement other stations na kulang yung tao. From there, we can realign saan ang dapat buhusan ng maraming forces, saan dapat yung minimal lang yung deployment. So that's how we strategize yung disposition namin of our troops.
Ang mga BPAT kasi, mga gagamit ko ba natin para sa additional force, para matulong?
Definitely, BPAS and other force multipliers will be top. We really need to collaborate because of our lack of resources.
Message na lang po sa mga
Ano po ang
activists.
gawin ng mga especially sa mga candidate na ma-maintain yung peace and order sa bawat country?
We've been doing our rounds to all municipal stations, to the municipal mayors. We are asking their cooperation so that we can really ensure yung smooth flow ng security deployment during the election period. And with your question, we assured all Misamis-non that the entire police force of the Misamis Occidental Police Provincial Office is in full support to ensure the conduct of honest and peaceful election this coming BSK.
Sa mga yan, sa mga voters.
Yes, to the voters, you can rely on us to be non-partisan. We will treat everything as fair and just so that the voters can really freely exercise their right to vote and choose their own leaders.
The Misamis Occidental Police Provincial Office is also now conducting our inventory of our deployable forces for this election. We are now in the process of accounting yung ating manpower and material resources together with our counterparts from the Armed Forces of the Philippines and the Philippine Coast Guard and other security forces so that we can really account all personnel that we deploy to ensure our security during election. We are also on our aggressive stance in the conduct of police operations, just like the conduct of checkpoints, of non-vacancy enforcement of applicable ordinances so that we can intercept the proliferation of those firearms, which we all know is the most preferred instrument in carrying out covenant or election-related incidents. So we are happy with this kind of activity. Nagpapasalamat kami sa ating counterpart from the covenant because with this kind of activity, we're not only setting the right direction, but also we're trying to convey a right message to our people that we are cooperating and we want to do or we want to conduct this election in our terms. So, dagang salamat. Tayo natin.
Thank you, sir. Now from the Armed Forces of the Philippines, let us hear again Lieutenant Colonel Jose Andre R. Manhen, PA, Battalion Commander, 10th IB 1IB, sir.
Thank you once again. Good afternoon to our regional election, to our EB, to our PAS, and all the election officers. We, the 10th Infantry Battalion, are your partners. We are committed to implement the democratic process in as far as we do our mandate. We will not allow the communist terrorist group to interfere. So, in as much as we would like to saturate our presence in the remote barangays, we are also needed by our counterparts, the Philippine National Police, for the checkpoints, for the guarding of the ballots, the sanctity of the ballots, and we will do that as part of our mandate. So, on behalf of the 10th Infantry Battalion, we would like to assure you, the COMELEC, the constituents, the LGUs, that we will exert extra efforts just to maintain the peace and order situation here in the province. So our presence would be felt in as much as the remote areas or inter-barangays that our election officers are the voting precincts. So, in partnership again with the Philippine National Police, as deputized by the COMELEC, we will abide with the laws and make sure that the democratic process will push through. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Next, from the Department of Education, let us hear Sir Reynaldo E. Manuel Jr., CESA 5, the Schools Division Superintendent of Misamis Occidental. Sir.
I am not Reynaldo Manuel Jr. I am only the Assistant Superintendent representing him. On behalf of the Department of Education, we assure the Commission on Elections that we will adhere to the rules and regulations of the committee as far as possible. Common yun itong di-class na kanina na free, orderly, honest, sa kamuman nga election. Regarding the request that trainings for those who will serve the elections that should be done during weekdays, ako pa itong i-visit sa mga regional director, and it is not in our authority to decide. Di pasabot sa ato ang election supervisor na hinahanglan nila kayo na mag-involve siya within working days, kaya considering na doon ay mga topic na i-discuss at would be discussed only by lawyers. No? We have only limited lawyers considering the number of teachers who will serve. Kung nakita na mga passing na pwede, no? With the approval of our General Director, daghan mo din kayo concept sa ko, no? Ano na, among sa lihangyo, and we will just inform you among sa decision. Usara man mo din kanilaw per teacher ginagawa sa semana. Isa.
Thank you, sir. Now let us hear the Provincial Treasurer of this province, Ma'am Elma P. Berlat. A round of applause, please.
So my respect to our father of the province of Misamis Occidental, to our hardworking Provincial Governor, Attorney Henry S. Swaminan, Provincial Governor of Misamis Occidental. To our Regional Director, Attorney Reynaldo A. Magbotay, Regional Office Dean, Cagayan de Oro City. And to our Provincial Election Officer, Attorney Melvin Alinas, Provincial Election Officer of Misamis Occidental, and to all officials and officer, national and local, official of the respective local government units, maayong hapon. Once again, we are on its election season, pero sa barangay level lang. This is the time where we can choose our officers in the barangay, which is the first office na madampan sa atong constituents. So it's very important that raman to karon. So our expected supplies and materials, we are given her in our province, diretso sa Treasurer's Office, no, sa province. But regardless, it is automatic or manual, the same accountability ang atong mga kahago pagkahinuon gihapon. As of today, we have 148 ballot boxes delivered in our office, but we don't have a list as to the allocation per LGU. So sa mga istorya-istorya, mas init kuno ang sa barangay election. I hope we will always have a peaceful election and we will always pray for that. We will pray for the safety and successful election ahead. So as your partner in every election, the Treasurer's Office, the Budget Office, and the Accountant's Office from your respective LGU will always be there to support you as to labi na kung naanada ay appropriation kay kasagara na ba sige hindi extend ang mga barangay election. So I hope na kani kung wala magani budget sa atong respective LGU, ato lang i-supplement with SP or SD ordinance. So I would like to say this also to all treasurers na naamoy mga concern bahin sa mga forms of supplies. So kunit na lang mo sa inyong respective election officer sa inyong mga munisipyo or sa syudad. So we have strong coordination with each other. I hope you have already a cellphone number, your respective election officer, and the election officer na apoy cellphone number sa treasurer kay aron sayon na ang atong pag-communicate. So that's all I can say right now. Thank you very much and God bless everyone. Asenso, Sami Subsribe.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, from the Department of Justice, may we have Attorney D.T. Gold, the Provincial Prosecutor of Misamis Occidental.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are blessed with this conference today because we are attended by no other than the Regional Public Officer of Region 10, Paniro Magdugay. Pagpaka natin ang Regional Public Officer. We are asked to give guidance. First guidance that I am going to address to our PNP. I hope that this coming October 28, ayaw sabihin mo pa na po maestra kay sirado ang korte ang sa balong Domingo, Lunes, Martes, di sila ka-serve kung inyong marapan, di sila kapiyansa. So tago isa ng warrant of arrest niyo kung doon ay nagkulong na maestra. Dili kami siya imposible kay posible man na naintinding warrants na i-address sa ato ang mga teachers. So taguin lang sa natin yung PNP officers. Ikaduha, we are instructed by our regional prosecutor to be open on October 28, 29, 30, November 1, November 2, and November 3. Maski pag-holiday in order to cater if there are inquest proceedings submitted by our police officers, military, and other persons entrusted for law enforcement. So, ang atong buhaton iyon ani, kani mga ordinaryo nga sa balong Domingo, natong PNP kung makadako Friday, palipay sila Friday sila makadako, kay doon na sila sa balong Domingo nga mag-prepare sa ilahang affidavit of complaint pagkalunis na nila i-file. Taas kasi sila panahon, but not this time. Kaya abli man ang atong office. Once makadakop ko, abli ko Sabado, Domingo, so i-observe na to ang 12 hours for light offenses, 18 hours for listed offenses, and 36 hours for grave offenses. Kung mulapas ta, inanamo daw aton atong pabuhian yung malakpan. Dayon, as far as Provincial Prosecutor's Office is concerned, we have our branch office in Subsribe City, main office in Oroquieta, and we have our branch office in Calamba para mag-cater sa mga municipalities na doon dito. So, di lang mo sabayan mo travel pa doon sa Oroquieta. Last point that I would like to stress, katong lecture kanihan ni Panero about vote buying. So, kung kinatumayo na kayong pagka-discuss, dahil doon ang video katong sa conflict resolution na iyahang lecture about presyong vote buying at presyong vote stealing. Kuan siya, presumption lang to ha. Ibutang magod sa ubos dito sa balaod na our police officers, if there is probable cause, they can effect an arrest and that arrest is valid. So atong klarohon to, atong klarohon na katong ibutang dito nga magpasinsilyo, tag-20, pwede mo, prohibited ang magbitli, magdalag kwarta of more than 500,000. Kami hindi marakpan na kay 50 pesos sa kwarta. Hindi ko nakpan na. Basta kayo di-attach ang sample ballot, so diha sana prohibited. Ang pangutana, pwede na ba siya kunin file na to o vote buying? The answer is no, not yet. Kato siya, presyon, indication lang ito na posibleng para vote buying. Mao nga gibutang sa resolution sa August na it cannot be done within 5 days before election. Sa ato pa, di na niyo pwede buhaton before election because that would be that there is possibility na gamitin to for vote buying. Kung inyo nang makalmistate ng kwarta, di pa mo pwede maka-file of vote buying. Inyo nang nakalmistate because it is a violation to the community resolution, bringing for more than 500,000 pesos attached with the sample ballot. Pero dili pa siya vote buying. Kaya ang element sa vote buying, katong isulti kanya, that is section 21 sa community resolution, i-confirm to siya sa section 261 of the Omnibus Election Code. I-confirm to siya. O ang wording sa Omnibus Election Code, mao nga, kanang vote buying is any person who is trying to give, offer, or promise. Dayon kung sa pagyon, money or anything with value. Dayon kung sa pagyon, for purposes of asking favor of vote. Sa ato pa nga kanina elements, dunay uban o palit, na ay ipalit or promise sa usa ka tawo nga mubaligya sa iyang boto para nga mubutar upat ka elements. Karon kung gabit pa lang ang kwarta ng pinagsinsilyo ng pinag-20, namalit na ba na? Wala pa. Pero nga naman na pwede i-confiscate because this is a violation to the community resolution, not necessarily vote buying. So kung makadakop yun mo o vote buying, kung maghimo na dahil mo o affidavit of complaint, iyaman ito i-active na yung lecture niya, di ba? Kinanglan yung affidavit of complaint. Dili mahimo nga magbigtit ra mo kwarta o balutan sa pulbalot sa mga office. Iya ko, ikunog, ibayad ko, pailan mo. Dili pwede ha, maghimo dyan mong affidavit of complaint, dayon i-subscribe sa among opisina para na ikaso. Dayon, be sure na makarga ang upat ka elements. So far, nga nahimong ko nga prosecutor, doon na lang mga tulong o 5 ka mga kaso na vote buying ang napasaka sa mga office. Walay usa na amo ang na-file sa court. Dismiss na ang tanan. Kaya gusto kayo i-prove ang vote buying. Pero hindi isip-isipin. Kaya yun pang makayo. Saling sa survey, doon na lang daw 30%, according to the survey, 30% sa impang pangutana nag-respond na vote buying na sa ilahang barangay. para nato kamay ra kay 30%. Ang uban na wala na tutuan sa tinuod kay murag na ata sa 90% nga ni apil sa vote buying. Dayon, as reported, there are more than 1,000 cases subject for investigation as of the moment. Tungkol na itong eleksyon na itong niagi na investigation pa lang. Why report na na-file sa korte? So sa atong sulayan siya o file sa court basta kay inyong makumpleto ang upat ka elements sa vote buying and vote selling para na makasulay kita o file o kaso para na naa-po effect ang inyong nga komite karon sa tubag o Barangay para na naa-po effect ang komite nga ditukod karon na makaingon nga this is leading to this peaceful and sa tungan pa na to, motor peaceful, orderly, o sa patong nga election. So kung ato na rin makapon sa Misamis Occidental, makaingon ka na ang Misamis Occidental wala masayok sa pagpili na to na nahimong opisyalis kung magdumala sa pamatudanan din sa Misamis Occidental. Salamat po mga hapon.
Thank you, sir. Lastly, from the Commission on Elections, let us hear from the Regional Election Director of Region 10, Attorney Renato A. Magbutay. A round of applause, please.
Maayong hapon ka na tanan. Maayong hapon po sa nakalingkod din sa presidential table, sa PNP contingent, sa AFP contingent, sa Department of Justice, Department of Education, sa atong mga kauban sa COMELEC, si Ma'am Elma Burlat sa Treasurer's Office, and from the other agencies in the government, mayong hapon ka natin tanan. Diligid mo, huwag mo yung choice. Di pa man mo kaulit, kahit ulan pa man, so you have to listen. Huwag mo yung choice. Anyway, I'm glad I'm here right now in front of you. Ako dugay sa Kudiri sa Misamis Occidental. I was once a provincial election supervisor of Misamis Occidental sometime 1997. Murag Agosto 1997. In fact, si Mrs. Elma Borla is my landlady here in Misamis in Oroquieta. So, Oroquieta and Misamis Occidental is very near to my heart. No? First na ko assignment in Mindanao is Misamis Occidental. Because during that time, very tumultuous ang election dito sa Misamis Occidental. No? Bubot tayo, kausay, i-barricade ni, di kami kabuwa sa canvassing room, tungod kay the contending parties. Wante sila, init kay ang ilang kuhan, pagsuporta sila ng kandidato. Anyway, I'm glad that you are all here this afternoon and even this morning, together with your counterparts from the different agencies in the government. We have to remember that election is not a sole responsibility of the government. The COMELEC is only the administrator of elections. But we need all the cooperation from the different agencies of the government. Without the cooperation from the agencies of the government, dili mahitabo ang atong gitawag na honest, orderly, and peaceful elections. Without the support of the PNP and the AFP, maglisod ang COMELEC magkandak of elections, especially in areas where there are threats, like the communist terrorist threats. No? Their presence hampers the delivery and the conduct of an honest, orderly, and peaceful election in a certain municipality. We also would like to acknowledge the help and the cooperation of the Treasurer's Office. No? Without the Treasurer's Office giving all the election paraphernalia during the election day together with our officials, officials maglisod ang atong election officers. Nga naman, dumarang sila ka buong taon sa usa ka munisipyo. It's the election officer and election assistant. So we need all the warm bodies to body with us, with the Comelec, para makahatag, makadistribute on time sa atong mga election paraphernalias. The budget, you have to remember na ang atong budget gikan na sa national for the conduct of the election. But realities on the ground dictates that we need the help of the budget officer, the accountants, and the LGU to help us to ferry the teachers to the different barangays where they are assigned and to transport them back to the canvassing centers. So, in-aning the complex ang election. This is a one-day affair, one-day activity of the government. This is not a one-day affair of the Comelec. This is a one-day affair where all agencies of the government are encouraged, and we need the cooperation of all of them in order to achieve the goal of conducting an honest and orderly elections. A while ago, I was with the governor. I paid a courtesy call to the governor because this is my first time to see personally the governor of Misamis Occidental. And I told them that we have this project of the Committee on Contra Bigay. This is a novel project wherein everybody is encouraged to participate. And the governor said to me, and together with my provincial election supervisor, the governor personally said that he will endorse this and he will come out with an ang tawag niya iyang ikuan sa mga tao sa Misamis Occidental. We want to address the people of Misamis Occidental, including all the candidates, wherein we have to abide by the rules. No? Ingon siya nga atong usbo na ang perception sa mga tao sa Misamis Occidental. Gusto nato nga atong i-implement together with the Comelec. I-implement nato atong iwanon ang perception nga during barangay elections or during local elections, sige ka paghatag o kwarta. Usbo na ang perception. This is high time that we have to do this. Ingon si Dardan ganina sa Attorney Alinas nga mag-convict na. Pinanglan na natin i-convict natin madakpan. I-convict ito. Pero para ako, okay kayo na. Leksyon para sa katong madakpan. Pero ang pinaka-importante yung tayo na mausap nato ang mindset sa atong katawan. No? Mausap nato ang mindset nila na ang eleksyon, dili ni kwartahay. Ang eleksyon, pagpili kung kinsa itong angayan ng mulingkod. Angayan, mulingkod, kung serbisyo sa katawan. Mauna na, siguro, wala ko, no? I'm idealistic. Pero, hinahanglan na magsugod ka na. Hinahanglan na atong pagbuod ang mga wala-una sa atong katawan. Through you have important roles to play in this election. You are influencers in your own respective areas. Pwede mo maka-influencer ng mga silingan, no? Kantanan, tabangan nato ang Comelec, tabangan nato ang gobyerno na mausap ang mindset. We have to change. Otherwise, ang election, para rin na mga dato. Na doon ay mga kwarta na mga gasto sa election. Wala na chance ang katong mga public na gusto mo servisyo, sincero pag-servisyo sa katawan, pero hindi sila ka-afford pamagbayad sa mga butante during the election. So, makuho na to, we need all your help. That's why I personally came here today just to be with you and to tell you kung unsa din ang direksyon sa Comelec. This is a novel project of the Commission on Elections. Ingon ka naman dito sa Manila kami, kami suntong sa buwan. No? na ni Prosecutor Gumo na wapagin na konbikto. Why na konbikto sa vote buying and vote selling? We have filed cases in Cagayan de Oro. We have filed cases for vote buying and vote selling. Pero sa initabo, na-dismiss. Why? Because of the disinterest na sa katong mga complainants. At complainants, ito lang sila mo file of affidavit, but later on, during the hearing, dili na sila malunga. Or na-arreglo na sa pikas partido. So, luoy kayo, na-dismiss ang kaso, and people, the public, castigates Comelec for its failure to curb corruption, curb vote buying and vote selling during elections. Kami mo iluoy kayo. Mona, karon, we need all the help we can get. We need your cooperation. Importante ni siya, ipakita nato sa katawan nga nag-usab na ta. Misamis Occidental, asenso na, bago na ang direction. It's no longer money politics, but it's politics of service, politics of performance. So, salamat sa inyong muragulaywan. Salamat sa inyong pag-ari karong adlaw. And I'm very happy in behalf of the Commission on Elections. Dako kayo po pasalamat sa inyong pagtunga to participate in this BGSCC and Command Conference. So, mayong hapon pinagkakalan.
Thank you so much, sir, for your unwavering support. Now, to formally close our meeting, may we have Sir J. Corsi Amarga, the Election Officer 3 of Bonifacio, for his closing remarks. A round of applause, please.
Thank you, Dan. Ladies and gentlemen, as we draw this Provincial Coordinating Conference to a close, please allow me, in behalf of the Commission on Elections, to express our gratitude to each and every one of you for your active participation and unwavering commitment to the success of the upcoming Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections on October 30, 2023. This gathering has been a testament to the spirit of collaboration and dedication that defines our province. Together, we have discussed strategies, shared insights, and forged stronger partnerships that will undoubtedly contribute to the integrity and efficiency of the electoral process. As we move forward, let us remember the importance of our roles in ensuring a credible, transparent, fair, and inclusive elections. The foundation we have laid here today will serve as the cornerstone for a successful electoral exercise where the voice of every citizen matters. In adherence to the Comelec slogan, BSK 2023, Barangay at Kabataan, Kabilang ka dito. With unity, dedication, and shared commitment to democracy, we will make the October 30, 2023 Barangay and SK elections a resounding success. Thank you once again, and may our efforts pave the way for a brighter and more prosperous future for our province. Safe travels to all, and let us meet the challenges ahead with unwavering determination. Mabuhay ang Barangay at Sangguniang Kabataan elections. Mabuhay ang ating probinsya.
Sige na, maayong hapon, Misamis Occidental. We were conducting this provincial coordinating conference with different agencies of the government who will be participating with us in this upcoming October 30, 2023 Barangay and SK elections. This is an initial preparation and for the elections, and we invited especially the
local government units, the treasurer, the budget officer and accountants who will be in charge of the logistics and the funding for the barangay elections. So because they have share to spend during the elections as provided by the local government code. We have also invited the Department of Education, whose teachers will serving as the electoral boards in the upcoming BSKE. We have also the provincial prosecutor, the PNP, AFP, and other law enforcement agencies who will be tasked to enforce the different election laws. And these elections, it will be a challenge for us because of this new COMELEC resolution on the kontrabigay. Sa binisayon na nako para masabtag sakto no, kining vote buying and vote selling. Kini siya murag rampant na gid ni sa barangay elections, and the commission will not tolerate the said acts or violations this election. So ang kini nga resolution na ay mga guidelines o mga presumptions nga sa una gi-practice sa mga politicians or mga candidates nga wala nila nabantay kay wala man sila masapon, wala madakpan, wala mareklamo. Karon natay guidelines unsay angay buhaton sa mga gusto mo reklamo o nakakita nga naay adunay paglapas aning vote buying ug vote selling na balaod. Kung kaniadto basta-basta lang mo mag-report sa COMELEC nga nahitabo nga vote buying and vote selling karon, gusto nato nga ipadayon hantod yun ma-file ang kaso. Gusto nato kuhaan og mo execute yung affidavit, mo gather og sakto nga ebidensya para lang dili pod ma-dismiss ang kaso, no? So daghay mga sa COMELEC Resolution 10946 gi-state diha unsa na mga acts ang gi-presume nga vote buying and vote selling activity. Naay po'y bag-o like kining gitawag nga money ban. 2 days before election ang mag-possess ka or mag-carry or magdala og more than 500,000 together with the campaign materials or sample ballots, it is presumed that it will be used for vote buying and vote selling. So kini ang bahin sa vote buying and vote selling, ang jurisdiction ani kung naay complaint nga i-file concurrent ni siya sa provincial prosecutor o sa COMELEC. So nag-imbitaran man nato atong provincial prosecutor and na-explain nato unsay tumong ani nga committee, kining committee on kontrabigay, and we are very happy that they have their commitment to support the COMELEC in this endeavor. So usa lang ni sa series of preparations nga gikuan sa COMELEC gipangandam. Hopefully maplansa nato tanan, taapatay oras kay medyo dito na diyan mi sa detail musulod sa among preparation. At least nahatag nato karong adlaw ang structure unsay padulngan nato pag-abot sa barangay and election. Og nagpasalamat kami sa giingon ni Regional Election Director Attorney Renato Magbutay nga kining kumpanya sa COMELEC bahin sa vote buying gisuportaan og suportaan gayud kini ni atong halandong gobernador Henry S. Uwaminal diri sa Misamis Occidental. Busa kinahanglan namo ang suporta sa ubang ahensya sa gobyerno para pag-implementar o pag-enforce aning balaod sa COMELEC, o dili lang sa gobyerno ug pati na po sa katawhan sa Misamis Occidental nga atong kontrohon ang perception sa eleksyon nga dili kwartahay ang eleksyon kundi ang pagpapili kinsay angay pilion nga sincero o angayan muhatag og serbisyo sa katawhan sa Misamis Occidental. Daghang salamat ug may hapon.
Ingon nga rampant. So posible ba kini nga solusyon na kang sampulan ng karon nga eleksyon?
Kanang ingon masampulan sa makit-an, sa ma-report, sa na-complainan, mapailan yun atong kaso, no? Concurrent man, pwede mo reklamo sa COMELEC with the evidence, complaint, affidavit, amo nang i-file. Amo naman na, kung i-file niyo sa COMELEC, i-forward na mo sa Manila for proper conduct of preliminary investigation. So mag-case build up kung sakto ba gyud ang ebidensya. Kaya ang uban man gud ana anonymous report. How can we prove in court the anonymous thing? Nga it's an hearsay, it's not acceptable in court. So kung naay mga reports, dapat naay case build up, naay saktong ebidensya nga para pud mo suporta sa conviction sa vote buying. Dili lang kay sa nadunggan, dili man na dawaton sa korte. No, dili na dawaton sa korte. Kinahanglan ta og concrete evidence. Labi na sa prosecutor nga level ang karon, kinahanglan na sila og taas-taas nga required proof para lang ma-file ang kaso sa korte, no. Samot na ang conviction nga unsa na kinahanglan nga kanang proof beyond reasonable doubt yun nga na-commit niya ang crime.
Aron malikayan na sir ang vote buying sa angay buhaton sa mga kandidato o sa mga botante o sa angay maundang siya malikayan.
Aron maundang og malikayan ana no dili ko makatubag ana unsay angayan buhaton, pero kami kung naay violations ato yung ipatuman ang balaod. Pero sakto po na maunang na diri ang different government agencies nga part sa committee sa kontrabigay kay para maghatag og information dissemination sa atong katawhan kay intawon sa ingon ni director kanina kada munisipyo duha na ka personahe sa COMELEC ang election officer o election assistant di na niya makaya so COMELEC lang atong pa saligan. So kinahanglan ang full coordination with different stakeholders para aning barangay and SK elections.
For clarification, sir, usan pag label kanang itong mga previous nga mga election sa SK, rampant kay nang ikidnap ang mga kauban ng mga voters sa SK. Dadon og usa ka lugar niya muhian sila during election day. Sa una siya pag mitigate or pagsugpo dito naman.
Ogdo kung ibase po nato sa resolution kay strategy mo na actually vote buying magibuna kay gatagaan na sila dito no base sa mga reports pod kay mao man lagi nakadungog ra ta pero wa gi saktong ebidensya nga ni duol nga mao ni nahitabo apil ko gipalit akong boto di ba pero mao lagi na there is a resolution section in the provision in COMELEC resolution 10946 nga any person who has participated in vote buying or vote selling but voluntarily gives information no about ana nga nabuhat maabsulto siya kada kung voluntaryo niya buhaton nga maghatag og impormasyon execute siya affidavit pero kung ayha na niya isulti nga nadakpan na siya lahi na nga istorya ha kana wa pa reklamo ni dool na siya nga gipalit man akong boto gibaligya pud nako pero nakonsensya ko maone mo willing ko mo nistigo kana pero ini madakpan na ka lahi na kining kuha na nimo dili na voluntary dili na mao ang provision sa balaod.
Sir saan pag manage sa COMELEC sir duha mo gud ang mubutar karon di ba na ay SK and barangay elections na ay tao nga duha ka buok ang iya.
Yes, ang kanang duha mo botar ana barangay and SK elections. Sa SK elections ang makabotar SK voters. Ang SK voters duha na 15 to 17 years old, no? Mga underage makabotar sa SK. Ang additional nga SK voters 18 to 30. Kanang 18 to 30 SK voters na sila at the same time regular voters sa barangay. So kining 18 to 30 duha ka official ballot ang ihatag sila for SK and one for barangay elections. Duha pod na isa ra ka baluta, ka ballot box.
Labeled na sila daan.
Separate na ang official ballot, klaro na for barangay, klaro for SK. I think lain-lain og color gani ang font ana, red and blue. Di lang ko sure unsa karon kay wala pa may gipakita ka layout. Basta lahi na for 18 to 30, duha ka balota, one for the barangay, one for the SK. Pag humanyag kasi ang vote, ibutang sa one ballot box. One ballot box, pag counting, abrihan ng ballot box i-separate sa SK, i-separate sa ang barangay.
Pero sa tinuod nga mas init ang eleksyon sa barangay kaysa
sa pagkakaroon so far sa update sa atong PNP wala pa man ka ng status nga angay kabalakan diri sa Misamis Occidental. But normally in other provinces kay more on closer magod mas ila uban magpamilya pa ang magkinontrahay sa barangay and SK elections. Pero so far and during the last elections 2018 barangay and SK elections wala man kayo na hitabo nga election related violence diri sa Misamis Occidental and hopefully magpadayon na para successful ang atong barangay NSKS.
Kasi mga usual nga mga prohibited acts
Prohibited acts, no? Daghan na yan, na prohibited acts sa mga kandidato, na sa mga botante, nasa pribadong tao, naapod sa gobyerno. Ang gidiscuss na to ganina, natay mga prohibited acts o gitawag nga election ban, labi na sa LGU, kining gitawag nga LGU o other government agencies kanang transfer ban. So sugod sa election period, bawal sa gobyerno nga i-transfer, i-reshuffle ang ilang mga tao without the written approval of the COMELEC. O sana, napunta gitawag na appointment ban. A certain period, I think on September 15, mag-start until October 30, bawal mag-appoint og empleyado sa gobyerno. Of course, with certain exceptions. And that is if they have the authority from the COMELEC. Napunta gitawag nga disbursement ban. Disbursement ban nga kining gobyerno labi na ning gitawag nga social services sa mga LGUs nato o sa different agencies nga bawal manghatag og social services nga from September 15 until October 30 unless nakakuha mo og certificate of exemption sa COMELEC, which should be filed in the Law Department, Manila. Ang AX is exception to the exception, but of course, if you would ask me as a COMELEC, ang AX, you have to prove first that it is AX. Otherwise, we will treat everyone as social services. We will ask for your certificate of exception. Kung wala, you prove otherwise that it is AX. AX is assistance to individual under crisis situations. So, not all are under crisis situations. So, AX is something to debate or to do. It's a matter of defense sa violator.
Pagtapok-tapok siya, pero sa man pwede yun.
Depende unsay klase nga pagtapok-tapok. Kay kung magtapok-tapok lang mo, wa mo'y buhaton, wa may magbawal ana. Pero magtapok-tapok mo nga mangumpan niya, bawal pa karon September 3 hangtod October 18. Ay wala, basta barangay NSK election, it is manual. Blanco nga official ballot, ang botante musulat sa ngalan sa ilang gusto botaran. Yes, because of the recent Supreme Court decision, ang atong next nga barangay NSK elections will be on second Monday of December 2025.
Dapat training expectan sa ato ang mga teachers.
Yes, next week I will be conducting a training for the trainers. So ang akong mga personal sa COMELEC, magkanda ko og one-day training nga maopoy mo train sa atong mga teachers o gitawag nga electoral boards. It will be held maybe last week of September ang para sa teachers or first week sa October. Pero may jugot yun ang schedule, amo ning istoryahan yun sa atong provincial nga DepEd. Wala man gud siya karong adlaw.
Thank you, sir. Message?
Message?
Voters or sa...
Wala, simple lang akong message, no? We will change the view of the people, the perception of the people sa COMELEC, labi na sa election, nga ato lang hangyoon, nga subay lang ta sa balaod. Simple ang rules. Ang rules na to is rules. No? If you are going to debate about the exceptions, milabot, but simple ang rules. Now, to you candidates, if you can't obey simple rules, nganong dagan pa man mo? Di ba? Ay nalang mo tugad-tugag dagan nga kung kining balaod sa eleksyon, di mo katuman, samot na sa inyong pampanirbisyo. Ay nalang mo tugad-tugag. Ako lang hangyo, tumanta sa balaod, kay kung dili po mo tuman, sa ako lang, dili po ni panghadlok ha, daghan ako gipailan nga criminal cases, election offense cases diri sa Misamis Occidental, na sa branch 13, pangutan-an na lang ninyo. Warning na ko na sa inyo, mga violator sa election laws. Daghang salamat, magandang hapon.